Today, I want to talk about ascending masters versus descended masters, which the battlefield is the human soul. So often at time, you hear all about ascending masters, right? Like what we consider going to the light. But we don't hear much talk about descended masters. And the reason is that descendant masters are souls that come from the infernal realm. So there are many dimensions here, okay? The ones that we can perceive because of indoctrination, our education, our belief system, probably the places that we grew up with, the friends, the schooling, the work, et cetera, and et cetera. It kind of molds us to where we at right now. And so what it did over time is that it limits our ability to see the dimensions like our neighbors, right? So we're not the only one that share this world. We're just happy to be here. Some people will say the third, the fourth, or the fifth dimension. There are dimensions above us. The ones above us, they are what we consider ascendant. So to ascend, the thing about us that make our dimension so unique is that ours go two-way. There are people that are here having the experience with us that will ascend, and there are people that will descend. So what I'm trying to say here is that you don't just ascend. You don't just become an ascending master. You can be a descending master too. Okay. Now, so often the time there are people, when you look at their fruit, they make it sound like they are talking about um, ascension, ascending, going higher lights and frequency and vibration. But in reality, they're talking about descending. But the descendant is that they are descending into a higher abyss, a darker light. So it is a form of them evolving too. But we have been conditioned so much to think that there's only one form of evolution, and to evolve is just to transcend to the light. Now, the part here that makes it funny is that yes, you can transcend to the light, and you can also you can also descend. The ones that are descending, they are going to a light made of it's a black. They they're going to a black sun. The one that is ascending, they ascend based on the white sun, if that makes sense. Like they go into the light. It's blinding. But as much as we need the light, darkness have to be with us too. But here in our dimension, it's out of whack. You know, it's wonky. And the reason I say that is because we have the darkness, the descendant ones, the ones that are designed to descend, they have overtaken the this dimension. So we could say right now this dimension is not balanced. It's whack. It's wonky wonky, because the reason I would say that right now, there's supposed to be a good balance of 50-50. It's not 50-50 now. It is like 80-20. 20% of this dimension is really what we would consider ascendant, but 80% of it is descendant. No, that's too high. There's supposed to be 50% of the inhabitants of this dimension that will descend, and 50% that will ascend. So we are on uncharted territory. What that means is that the ones that descend, they recruited more people, okay? And the ones that ascend did not recruit enough people. Meaning, as we can see here, there's a lot of contracts, spiritual contracts that was given in this dimension. And these spiritual contracts that were given in this dimension, when you get an opportunity, please take a look. I've done a few about spiritual contract, and I've also done one about principality. So, whenever you get a chance to take a look and listen to my spiritual contract, the last one I think I went in depth about was contract being a perfect example of the infernal realm. I also did one about celebrities. Can I recall their infernal contracts? So that's something that I like to talk about. I like to talk about everything spiritual, like, because right now we're in a great awakening. Like, you have people It's the ones that are descended. They're referred to as the dark ones, the little evil ones, the little crawlers, the little wicked ones. But those are the descendant ones, right? They somehow have managed to tell the world that this dimension, our planet, is organic, right? So they managed to get it out there. That an organic planet can become robotic. No, it cannot be. Because all of the materials that you need, if you get it from this world to build it, it's all organic. This planet is so organic that it's not even funny. Everything is here. It's organic. The clothes that you wear, the food that you put in your mouth, the water that you drink, the air that you breathe, everything is organic, but it's out of whack. Like it's wacky, wacky, whack, but it's out of whack. The reason I say that, um, there's nothing that you touch that do not come from nature, that is not living. And everything is living. Everything. The chair that you sit down on is living. The door that you open is living. Everything you touch is a living thing in this dimension. The people you look at, they're living, they're breathing. Everything is living, but somehow the ones that are descending have tricked people, tell them, oh no, it's not living, that's an adamant object, when in reality it is living. Just like they've managed to tell the world, because one of the things that shocked everyone was that when we found out the ones that are descending, uh, their biggest goal is to become a robot. They want to become robots. People like, what? They want to become robots, people. You can't even make this up. They want to put nanobots in their body. Okay? And after they finish putting nanobots in their body, they want to build an artificial brain because somehow they will be able to put download their conscious in an artificial brain and live in an artificial body forever, ever and ever and ever. They will never die. They'll live forever. Now, here is the problem with that, okay? As you can see with technology, there's always an upgrade. So I'm like, did these fools make any? Do these fools know what they're gonna do? How they're gonna upgrade their mechanical bodies? Okay, and what happened if these fools get their way where they put like a cloud covering the sun up there? Do these fools realize that that may stop them themselves from actually being able to charge? So now they have a brain that's working in a tenfold and they can't do anything because now they actually have came offline because they ain't charged up. And there'll be no, I mean, it's just a hot mess with them. But it's like they want to be robots. We're like, what? That is the highest form of evolution for them. Their goal is to be robots. Like Transformer, G.I. Joe. That is what these cats want to be. These cats want nanobots. These kids want to travel the galaxy. The problem is some of the dimensions are not solid like ours. Okay. So one of the most retarded thing I think, people showing you spaceships and stuff like that, and stuff is falling out of the sky. That's why that makes sense. If you are going to a dimension that's not solid, what the hell would a big bulky space equipment from this dimension be doing in that dimension? It's not even made of the same material, right? So our neighbors are not built the way we are built. They are not designed the way we are designed. Okay. So therefore, and then they are planets, right? There are dimensions that are not solid like us. So the moral of the story is they're trying to go to, um, some people are saying planets, some people are saying different dimension. Neither here and there, they're trying to get out of this area. And this is this need for them to get the fudge off this rock. Like these people have this desperation to get off this rock like yesterday, right? They want to go so bad. There are people that are saying that they have been to other dimensions and kicked out. There are people that said, hey, they may have went to a different world. I I would go, yeah, I do believe that they may know how to go different dimension. I do believe that they may have gone to a different dimension, but far as off world, that I'm kind of like, I'm kind of on the fence on that, right? Because I feel like there's a lot of manipulation from the ones from other dimension here. We hear a lot of talk of the mermaids, and we see that there's a whole campaign against them, right? And I know for a fact that they give out contracts, right? And there are humans that go and get these contracts, and then like, oh, that continent Africa, what a hot stinking mess over there. They are over there on some full throttle propaganda, anti mermaid, anti anything that's from that dimension. It seems like there is a lot of portals around where there's black people, because it's kind of strange everywhere that there's black people or on this planet, whether it be in the continent, whether it be in the Caribbean, whether it be in South America, wherever they're at, they always seem to see these entities, and there's large account of them. So I'm like, okay, maybe they um, come through this dimension where there are black people. So that leads me to believe that black people were always cool with them, and black people probably didn't bother them. It seemed like something happened where the blacks are, well, not all, but we do see that hot stinking mess, especially the Africans, when they be getting on there pretending to be them, and they be saying some off the world nonsense. It's just pure realignment of energy and frequency. And I don't, sometimes I'll be wondering if they even realize what they're doing with their mouth. I wonder if they're not clones themselves. And sometimes I wonder if they're not under control of some high warlock or magician, because some of the stuff they say is just like, it's like, I'm like, oh goodness gracious. Like I roll my eyes sometimes. Some of the stuff is just like out there, man. Like, and I would expect better, because it's like you guys of all people are the most defamed on the world stage. So the fact that there is practice of defaming others is just mind-boggling. It's always disheartening to see that done within groups. Like for me personally, I don't think anything black skin should be in the dehumanizing of anything in this dimension or any other dimension. I believe they should seek understanding. They should have compassion. I don't mean compassion when they get taken advantage of. I don't mean compassion when people come and gobble up your damn resources. That's not what I'm talking about here now. People getting it confused here. Having understanding don't mean you let all these little creatures, these little wicked ones move in, take advantage of you, manipulate you, and suck you dry. That's not what I'm talking about here. What I'm talking about here is seek to understand what's going on in this dimension. So anyway, yeah, they want to be robots. I'm gonna leave it there because I was like, oh goodness, when I first heard this. Anyway, thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being my audience. Thank you for listening to Luco T podcast. Thank you for subscribing. My name is Manishka Jessica, host of Luco T podcast. Bye. Please like, subscribe. It really helped me out if you guys subscribe. Bye.